Today we're going to talk about how to keep your client happy forever. A few days ago, I needed to know my taxable income after all deductions for the previous year. I knew the number ended with $0.9 million, but I couldn't remember the exact number of millions before the .9. I became the world's most highly paid ad writer, not because I'm better than all the other ad writers, but because my pay is increased each year by the percentage that my client's business has grown. This compensation plan isn't the most important element, however. The key to my success is that most of my clients stay with me until they die, or until they cash out and sell their companies. I have a number of clients who paid me just $500 a month 30 years ago. But their companies have grown so large that today they pay me tens of thousands of dollars per month each. You have to be able to keep your clients happy for decades if you want to be richly rewarded. Today, I'm going to teach you the secret of doing that. But first, let's agree on a few important facts. Number one, you probably know a lot more about advertising than your client does. Number two, your client hired you to be the ad writer, not the CEO. Number three, your client is not an idiot. They became successful enough to hire you without your help. If you write the ads that you would run if you owned the company, you are sooner or later going to lose that client. You don't own the company. You're not even the CEO. You're just the ad writer. Your ads are not about you. They're about the client. Young advertising professionals always want to demonstrate how clever they are by pointing out what the client is doing wrong. And then these annoying little rat bastards explain to the client what they're going to do to correct the horrible mistake this most unfortunate of clients has been making. Their message to the client is clear. You are an idiot, but everything is going to be okay now that I am here. I told you earlier that I was going to teach you the secret of keeping your client happy for decades. This is that secret. In your first encounter with a prospective new client, don't look for what they're doing wrong. Look for what they're doing right. And then get excited about it. Believe in their company, believe in their future, be proud to be part of that future with them. I'm not talking about flattery. If you try to stroke your client's ego, they're going to deeply dislike you and they will never trust you. Just listen to your client. Keep them talking. Your goal is to figure out what is working. Look for what is working. Focus on what is working and build your ad campaign around that foundation. Your client has a superpower, although they may not be aware of it. Discover that superpower. Discover the secret to their success. You don't discover that superpower by talking, creating, and planning. You discover that superpower by listening intensely and by asking intelligent questions. Quit talking. Keep the client talking. Be excited to be part of their company. Look for what is working. I have one client who is successful because he is so incredibly kind and considerate. The public loves him. His employees love him. And his suppliers love him. He's just a wonderful man. I never talk about that in his ads. I just write ads that reveal this truth about him. I have another client who is committed to always being far more technologically advanced than his competitors. I never say that in his ads. I just write ad copy that reveals this truth about him. I have another client who believes in everyone being happy all the time. He lives in a world full of sunshine and rainbows and happy people. And he always believes the best about everyone. I never say that in his ads. I just write ad copy that reveals this truth about him. In other words, I create ad campaigns that don't require my clients to be anyone other than who they have always been. I just turn up the volume, that's all. Another of my highly successful clients is a numbers person. He knows all the ratios and margins, and his projections are always accurate. He knows how to execute a plan flawlessly, and he knows how to make money. He's highly disciplined and incredibly smart. He has no instinct for marketing whatsoever. He asks only for a well-thought-out plan to execute. This is the ad campaign wherein I have the most freedom. My client's superpower is that he will deliver precisely what I promised, and he is able to grow the operational side of the company as fast as I can grow the customer base. Here's one last example. I was introduced to Helen in a Zoom call. Highly experienced and with an amazing track record, Helen is the new managing director of a franchise owned by one of my clients. My client and his chief operating officer were on that Zoom call with Helen and me. As Helen was introducing herself and telling me a little about herself, she said something I had always secretly believed. She said, "I was told that 150 successful franchise partners would be considered extraordinary success. But I don't agree with that at all. I see no reason why we can't have 500 franchise partners. And with what we're offering, it shouldn't really take that long to do it." I said, "Helen, I'm so excited to hear you say that. I have always felt that same way, but I am not an operations person. I don't actually execute the plan. I'm just the ad writer." And then I spoke to the owner of that franchise and to the chief operating officer of all the franchisors in the group. And I said, "Is it okay with you guys if Helen and I believe in this opportunity more than you do? Is it okay for our dreams and our confidence to be bigger than yours?" Needless to say, they were enthusiastic in their agreement that it was okay for us to see more possibilities than they had seen. Helen and I found a single point of agreement, and that is always enough to begin a profitable partnership and a lifelong adventure. When I am launching a new client relationship, I always say, I will never forget that I'm just the ad writer and that this is your company, not mine. You can count on me to always do what you feel is the right thing to do. The only thing I ask is that I always be able to have my day in court. In those moments, I will always explain to you, these are the defining characteristics of the situation as I understand them, and then I will explain my plan and why I think it is the smartest thing to do. But after you've heard me and understood what I'm trying to tell you, just know that I will always be willing to abandon my plan and throw my full weight into making your plan work. You hired me to be the ad writer and the director of brand identity. You did not hire me to be CEO. This is your assignment. In most of these sessions, you've been exercising your new skills for the benefit of the client that you partnered with who volunteered to be the guinea pig for all of this. But this session, you're going to start a new relationship, but only for this session. And to make this a little more difficult and a lot more honest, make sure it's a business category that you are not intimate with. Make sure it's a business category that you don't already know a lot about. You need to go out and explain, hey, I'm in the middle of an ad master's course. It takes a couple of years to complete. And I need to start from scratch to try to figure out what is the defining characteristic of this business owner? What is their superpower that they may or may not be aware of? What is the secret to the success they have already achieved? Because part of what I'm being taught in this class is to do no harm. Identify what it is that you must protect at all costs. Find out what it is that's working so that you can make sure you keep doing that. If you would give me the time to talk to me, I would give you back my assessment and an ad, a 60-second script that you could use for a radio ad or a social media television thing on YouTube or one of the other social media channels, Facebook perhaps. Would you give me the time? It shouldn't take more than a couple of hours. And you'd be doing me a favor, and hopefully I'll be doing you a big favor in return. So if you can get somebody to agree with you to launch an all-new relationship, your job is to ask questions. Try to figure out what's working. Ask everything in the world you can, because most of the time, it's something the client isn't really that aware of. When they're naturally gifted in an area, they have a blind spot in the area of their giftedness. Because they don't have to work at it, they don't appreciate the power of it. And it takes an outside pair of eyes, in this case, your eyes, to isolate what that superpower is, the thing that's probably the reason they have succeeded to the degree they already have. Now, I know this all seems very abstract, but your assignment is very simple. Your job is to find it out. Now, when you sit down with this person, you're going to have to find somebody who will talk to you, give you the time, and then every time you hear something you think might be maybe the thing that is really the reason for their success, something you could build on, write it down, just scribble it down. And you're going to send us all the list of all the things you wrote down and what it was they said that made you think, yeah, this could really be a thing. And then when you finally figure out, this is the main thing, I finally figured out the main thing, I now know, I have real confidence. Tell us what it is, how you knew it was the right thing, why you have so much confidence in it, and then how you're going to build upon that. You're going to write a 60-second radio ad, or it could easily be a 60-second script for a social media video, YouTube or Facebook perhaps. But you're going to give the person, your guinea pig, the 60-second script you wrote, along with the thing that you're going to turn in to us. And they will have been rewarded. They will have an insight inside themselves from an outside pair of eyes, your eyes. Now, this is going to be awkward, it's going to be tricky, it's going to be time consuming, but it's not going to be hard. It's going to be fun. And believe me, if you master this skill and you become good at it, you can make more money than you ever dreamed possible. There is no skill that you can learn that will make you more money than what I taught you today. We really, really look forward to hearing about your experience and understanding what you were able to discern through this new pair of eyes. Look for what's working, not for the mistake.